My mama always said you could tell a lot about a time by the music folks listened to. And let me tell you, the music during the Vietnam War, it sounded like thunder, heartbreak, and hope, all mixed into one. Now, I was over there in Vietnam, like I told y'all before. The days were hot, the nights were scary, and the only thing louder than the helicopters was the music in your head. We didn't have much, not good food, not soft beds, but we had radios. And those radios were our windows back home. I remember Bubba used to hum Marvin Gaye all the time. Said it reminded him of Alabama. Ain't no mountain high enough. That was his favorite. Said it gave him courage.me. I liked that one, too. Felt like no matter how far you were from home, someone was waiting on the other side. Back then, the radio was filled with songs about leaving, loving, and losing. Every chopper pilot had a cassette of Creedence Clearwater Revival. You couldn't take a ride without hearing Fortunate Son. That guitar riff hit harder than napalm. Even Lieutenant Dan used to tap his foot to that one, though he never admits it. And then you had that song Run Through the Jungle. Gave us chills. We were literally doing just that. Jungle wasn't no joke. Leeches, landmines, ambushes. But the music kept our heads straight, kept our hearts beating steady. There was also this lady, Janis Joplin. She sang like her soul was catching fire. Bubba said she was what pain sounded like. I think she was what truth sounded like. Every time she sang Piece of My Heart, I felt like she was singing for all of us who left something behind. And then there was the Doors, spooky music, like a fever dream. We'd sit in the mud, cleaning our rifles, and someone would start singing People Are Strange, and I reckon they were right. People were strange. The war made them that way. Sometimes we'd hear Hendrix over the static, tearing into all along the watchtower. It was electric, like the sound of the storm before a firefight. Hendrix was like lightning with a guitar. Some of the guys said he was the only one who could make the chaos sound beautiful. There were quiet moments, too, times between battles, nights when we would lay on our backs under the stars and listen to the Temptations sing My Girl. Some of the fellas cried, thinking about wives or girlfriends. Some just stayed quiet. We all missed something or somebody. Back home, not everybody liked what we were doing overseas. That's why a lot of the music was angry. Bob Dylan sang about answers blowing in the wind. Folks held up signs and sang Give Peace a Chance. And some just cried through the words of Simon and Garfunkel. The sound of silence wasn't just a song, it was a feeling. And you had Buffalo Springfield with For What It's Worth, Stop, Hey, What's That Sound? That line stuck in my head like a memory. Out there in the jungle, every sound mattered, every snap of a twig, every hum of a helicopter. We joke sometimes, saying the war had a soundtrack, and it kinda did. From War by Edwin Starr to I Feel Like I Am Fixin', to Die Rag by Country Joe and the Fish. Music was with us in every corner of that crazy place. I remember one time, after I'd run across the whole country and sat down for a rest, a young man walked up to me wearing a tie-dye shirt. He said, "Man, I heard your story. You were in Vietnam? Thank you." He handed me a cassette tape, said it was his daddy's. On it was What's Going On by Marvin Gaye. That song didn't yell, it asked, and sometimes a question is more powerful than a shout. Later, I listened to that tape over and over. Marvin wasn't just singing to America. He was singing about America, about confusion, about hurt, about wanting something better. The war didn't make sense to most folks, not even to us. But the music helped us breathe, gave us something to believe in when the world looked upside down. Even when I came back home, and folks looked at me like I'd done something wrong, I still had the music. Still had CCR, still had Hendrix, still had Aretha belting out freedom like she meant it. Aretha wasn't just singing, she was demanding respect. And after all we'd been through, that's what we wanted to. We would play Otis Redding sitting on the dock of the bay and think about the places we missed. Home didn't always feel the same, but those songs helped us remember who we were before the war, before we became something else. I even remember hearing Bridge Over Troubled Water for the first time. That song felt like someone was holding your hand without touching you. Some of the guys said it was the first time they felt peace in a long, long while. Then there was that time someone played Time Has Come Today by the Chambers Brothers over the loudspeaker of a base camp. That echo, that ticking sound, felt like it was counting down the seconds of our lives. It wasn't just a beat, it was a warning. We joke round, sure, but when House of the Rising Sun came on, everybody got quiet. That song, that was the war, dark, lonely, and too far gone, and sometimes you'd hear a harmonica or a soft guitar on the radio late at night. Maybe Johnny Cash or Glenn Campbell. Their songs didn't yell, they told stories, and sometimes a good story was all we had to feel. Human again. The music didn't fix the war, didn't save everyone, but it gave us something to hold on to, something no one could take away, and for that, I'll always be thankful. So, if you ever want to know what America felt like in the 60s, don't ask a history book, just listen to the songs, that's all I got to say about that. Like and subscribe for more true music stories. And join us every night at 6 PM EST for full album reactions and tales worth telling.